Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are going to present Hello Unit 16. The unit is called Animal Stories. Alright, first of all we are going to talk about the grammar of the unit. Now, listen to what happened to me. Last Friday, I decided to invite some relatives to have dinner with me. My wife had gone to the countryside, so I had to prepare the food on my own. After I had read some recipes for certain dishes, I went shopping to buy some missing things. As soon as I arrived at the supermarket, I realized that I had forgotten the money. Before I went back home, I had collected all my needs and put them in the trolley. As soon as I returned home, I found that I had left my door key in the supermarket. I ran back to the supermarket. I went to the place where I had left the trolley and looked carefully for my keys. I found that I had dropped them in one of the shopping bags. I went back home and brought the money. By the time I returned to the supermarket, the workers there had emptied my trolley. I didn't leave the supermarket until I had bought everything I needed. Now, what do you notice about the form of the verbs in red? Okay, let's go back and see them. Okay, here we have had gone, had read, had forgotten, had collected, had left, okay, again had left, had dropped, had emptied, and had bought. Okay, so what do you notice about the form? Okay, of course, all of them consists of had and the past participle. Okay, now Ali had done his homework before he went to bed. I want you to make similar sentences. Here, Hiba, between brackets we have win a prize before she buy a mobile phone. Who can make a similar sentence to the first one? We can say Hiba had won a prize before she bought a mobile phone. Again, Magdi write the report before he sent it to the boss. Who can correct the verbs? Yes, Magdi had written the report before he sent it to the boss. Again, Sarah decorated the house by the time she moved into it. So I can say Sarah had decorated the house by the time she moved into it. Okay, what do you notice about the form of the verbs in red again? Alright, here, after Ali had done his homework, he went to bed. We want to form similar sentences. Okay, after Hiba win a prize, she buy a mobile phone. Who can form a sentence like the first one? We can say, after Hiba had won a prize, she bought a mobile phone. After Magdi write the report, he sent it to the boss. Who can correct the verbs? Yes, we can say, after Magdi had written the report, he sent it to the boss. Again, after Sarah decorated the house, she moved into it. Who can correct the verbs and make a similar one to the first sentence? We can say, after Sarah had decorated the house, she moved into it. Okay, which action happened first? That in red or that in blue? Okay, so always in all the sentences the red action was always the action that happened first. The form of the red action is had plus past participle. Okay, so this is called the past perfect tense. Look at this timeline. Okay, here we have, okay, the green circle is now, and we have, okay, a blue point and a yellow point. Okay, the yellow point, okay, is a past action, but the blue point is an action that happened before it. So we have two actions happening in the past. One of them happened before the other. Okay, the action, okay, that is in blue, or the action that happened first, okay, is called the past perfect tense. Look at the example. After Magdi had written the report, he sent it to the boss. What happened first? Did he write the report first, or did he send it first? Okay, of course, he had written the report first, and then he sent it. Okay, so the first action is usually in the past perfect, had plus past participle, and the second action is usually in the past simple tense. Okay, what do you think is the use of past participle, of past perfect tense? What is the use of past perfect tense? Okay, number one, to describe a past action that had happened before another action in the past. Okay, so we have two actions, one happening after the other. Both actions are in the past. Okay, we have two past actions, both are in the past. The first one comes in the past perfect tense, had plus past participle. The second one, okay, or the newer one, comes in the past simple tense. Okay, again we have another use to describe a past action that had happened before, okay, a certain time in the past. Like when I say, by 7 o'clock yesterday I had interviewed all the job applicants. So it has two uses: an action that happened before another action in the past, and an action that happened before a certain time in the past. Like when I say, by 7 o'clock yesterday I had interviewed all the job applicants. So I first interviewed all the job applicants, and then 7 o'clock came. Okay, so okay, I finished all the interviews before 7 o'clock, before a certain time in the past. Okay, now let's think about the time conjunctions, okay, or the conjunctions that are used with past continuous. Again, let's think about the time conjunctions that are used with past perfect tense. Okay, can you guess? We have already come across before and after. Okay, so we have after, we have as soon as, we have because, we have by the time, we have before, we have when, and also we have until. Okay, so these are the time conjunctions that come with the past perfect tense. Look at the following example. After Ali had finished the homework, he went to sleep. Can you detect the rule of after through the previous example? We have after Ali had finished the homework, he went to sleep. So after is followed by two sentences. Okay, between the two sentences there is a comma. The verb of the first sentence is had finished. What is had finished? It's past perfect. The verb that comes in the second sentence that follows the comma is went. What is went? It's past simple. So after is followed by two sentences. The first one is past perfect, the second one is past simple. Okay, here we have after, but not only after. Okay, we have some friends of after that are as soon as, because, and sometimes when. We have after, as soon as, because, and when. They are followed by past perfect and then past simple. Okay, like the first example and like this example. After Ali had finished the homework, he went to sleep. So here after is followed by past perfect, had finished, and then past simple. As soon as we had arrived at school, the first lesson started. So we arrived first and then the lesson started. As soon as, like after, is followed by past perfect, that's had arrived, and then past simple, that is started. We also have because they had found a lot of money, they bought a villa. Okay, so they found the money first and then they bought a villa. Again here we have because, that's followed by past perfect. Okay, had found and then past simple. Okay, when Ali had finished the homework, okay, he handed it to the boss. Okay, again when is followed by past perfect and then past simple. What if the conjunctions are in the middle? What if the conjunctions come in the middle? Okay, like the example, I turned off the PlayStation as soon as my father had arrived. So here the conjunction is as soon as. It's followed by past perfect, that's had arrived, and preceded by turned, that is past simple. So when after, as soon as, or because are in the middle, they are followed by past perfect, that's had arrived, and preceded by past simple, that's turned. So the structure is past simple and then the conjunction and then past perfect. Okay, like this. After, as soon as, because, and when are followed by past perfect, had, and past participle, and preceded by past simple. Okay, like Ahmed took the exam after he had studied all his lessons. So here after is followed by had studied is past perfect and preceded by يعني بيسبقها past simple, that's took. Ali played the match as soon as he had bought a ball. As soon as comes in the middle. Okay, before as soon as we have played past simple, and after as soon as we have past perfect, had bought. They went out of the room because they had seen a snake. Okay, again we have because, like after is followed by had seen. Okay, and before the word because comes went, past simple. So past simple, because, and past perfect. Ahmed took the exam when he had studied all his lessons. Okay, so we have past perfect after when and past simple before when. By the way, when has a rule that is like after and a rule that is like before. We're going to see, okay, later on. Okay, we have the word until. Until is one of the friends of after, so it is like after. Look at the example. The teacher didn't start the lesson until Mona had arrived. Okay, what happened first? First, Mona arrived and then the teacher started the lesson. Okay, I didn't go off the car until it had stopped completely. What happened first? The car stopped first, or you went off the car first? Of course, the car stopped first and then you went off the car. So you didn't go off the car until it had stopped completely. Look at the form. Here we have until. Okay, what comes after until? Until is like the word after. It is followed by had arrived. بعدها had arrived. What comes before until? We have past simple, but what do you notice? Is it started or didn't start? It is didn't start, and in the second sentence it is didn't go. Okay, so the past simple must be in the negative form. Didn't plus infinitive. Didn't go, didn't start. So we have didn't plus the infinitive, and then we have the past perfect. The teacher didn't start the lesson until Mona had arrived. Okay, so the rule of until is followed by past perfect and preceded by past simple in the negative form. Okay, didn't plus infinitive. Alright, sometimes until comes with the verb wait. Okay, here look at this example. Until he had finished his work, we waited for him. Here, when until come at the beginning of a sentence, it is followed by past perfect that had finished, and then past simple not in the negative, waited. Okay, so with the verb wait comes in the past simple, and the other verb comes in the past perfect. Until he had finished his work, we waited for him. Or we waited for him until he had finished his work. Okay, now if you have the verb wait, until is followed by past perfect and then past simple not in the negative form. Okay, when until comes in the middle of a sentence, it's followed by past perfect, had plus past participle, and preceded by past simple. Okay, of course we have talked about the second use of the verb of the past perfect. Okay, that is an action that had completed before a certain or a definite time in the past. Okay, look here, look at this clock. It refers to 3 o'clock, but some things happened before that time. Okay, here look at the example. It was 3 p.m. when he baked the cake. It was 3 p.m. when he baked the cake. Okay, so I can say by 3 p.m. By 3 p.m. he had baked the cake. Okay, so he started baking the cake and then he finished it before the clock turned 3. Okay, before 3 o'clock. So okay, he started doing the action and completed the action before a certain time in the past, before 3 o'clock. Okay, here he started baking at 12 and finished at 3. So by 3 o'clock he had baked the cake. Look at the following example. Okay, here we have some other time conjunctions that are used with past perfect tense. We have before, we have by the time, and again we have when. Okay, but the opposite rule or the opposite structure. We have before Ahmed slept, he had turned off the light. Before Ahmed slept, he had turned off the light. Here before, okay, is followed by 2 sentences. The first one is past simple, slept, and then past perfect, had turned. By the time the film started, I had switched on the television. So by the time is followed by past simple, that started, and then past perfect, that's had switched. When they arrived, we had prepared the food. So when is followed by past simple and then past perfect. Okay, so what are the rules? Okay, of course I know that you have guessed the rules. Before, by the time, and when are followed by past simple and then past perfect. Okay, When before comes in the middle, like here, Soha had eaten her lunch before she washed her hands. Okay, here before in the middle, what comes before this word? We have had eaten. What comes after before? We have washed. Okay, so when before, by the time, or when are in the middle, they are followed by يعني بعديهم past simple, washed, arrived. Okay, but they are preceded by يعني بيجي قبليهم past perfect. Okay, so I had eaten her lunch before she washed her hands. The thief had escaped by the time the police arrived. Mona had prepared the dinner when her husband arrived. What are the rules? Okay, here you can see the rules. Before, by the time, and when are followed by past simple and preceded by past perfect that's had past participle. Okay, notice the following. Look at the examples. After Ali finished the homework, he went to sleep. What do you notice here? Is it after Ali had finished or after Ali finished? Here it is finished. As soon as we arrived at school, the first lesson started. Again, as soon as followed by arrived, past simple, and then started, past simple. Because they found a lot of money, they bought a villa. When Ali finished the homework, he went to sleep. Okay, here we have two actions. The two actions are in the past simple. Okay, is it correct or not? Yes, it is correct. Okay, we can use past simple and then past simple. Okay, we usually use both verbs in the past simple, okay, when the two actions directly follow each other with short time intervals. Okay, so when the two actions come one after the other without long time interval, we use past simple and then past simple. So it is okay to use past simple and then past simple after the word after or before. Look at the following examples. After finishing my homework, I went to bed. Before doing my homework, I had eaten a sandwich. So here, the first one, after finishing my homework, I went to bed. Before doing my homework, I had eaten a sandwich. What do you notice? What comes after the word after or after the word before? Here, the green verb is in the gerund form or takes ing. We have after finishing, before doing. When does that happen? It happens, okay, when there is no subject. We didn't say after I finishing. We said after finishing, before doing. Okay, so the subject is dropped, is omitted. So you can drop the subject and had. In the case of after, you can drop I and had and add ing to the form. Originally this sentence was after I had finished my homework, I went to bed. So the first sentence was like that. After I had finished my homework, I went to bed. Okay, we removed I and had and kept finishing. Okay, so the verb takes ing. Again, it was before I did my homework, I had eaten a sandwich. So I can say before doing my homework, I had eaten a sandwich. Okay, what do you notice about the verbs that just after the conjunctions? Okay, is there a subject in the sentences? No, there is no subject. So I say after finishing and before doing. Look at the following examples. What happened? What do you notice? After he had written the letter, he sent it. We have here having written the letter, he sent it. What happened? Okay, what do you think? We can remove after, okay, and the subject, that is he, okay, and change the word had into having. We can say after he had written the letter, he sent it. It becomes having written the letter, he sent it. Okay, after he had done the homework, he slept. I can say having done the homework, he slept. Okay, now look at this exercise that's in the student's book. Okay, complete the sentences with the past perfect or the past simple of the verbs in brackets. So we have to correct the verbs, okay, using past perfect or past simple. Number 1, the lesson had already started when he arrived in the classroom. What happened first? The lesson started first and then he arrived. That's why he puts the first verb start in the past perfect. We say had already started. Reem be upset because her friend not phone her. So Reem's friend didn't phone her first, and then Reem, okay, was upset. So I can say Reem's friend, who can give me the answer? Okay, of course, what happened first? He didn't phone her first. So not phone becomes past perfect, and be becomes past simple. So what is the past of be? Who can tell me? The past of be is was or were. So you can say Reem was upset because her friend hadn't phoned her. Number 3, nobody know about the site because everyone forget about it. Okay, so what happened first? Did people forget first, or they didn't know first? Of course they forgot and then they didn't know. So I can say nobody knew about the site because everyone had forgotten about it. After we visit the museum, we decide to have lunch. Here the word visit, okay, comes just after the word after. So I say after we had visited the museum, we what is the second verb? What's the tense of the second verb? Decide. Decide becomes decided. Okay, so we visited first, that's why we say had visited, and then we decided, that's why I say decide in the past simple, so decided. After we had visited the museum, we decided to have lunch. Farida enjoy visiting Sohag because she never be there before. Okay, so we have because is followed by past perfect. What comes after the word because? It's past perfect. Okay, what comes before the word because? It's past simple. So I can say Farida enjoyed visiting Sohag because she had never been there before. Had never been. So here are the answers. You can pause the video and complete the answers in your students' books. Okay. Now, I want you just to imagine, okay, or try to invent sentences. Say what you had done or hadn't done by the following times. Again, the word by, okay, by is followed by a fixed time, okay, and in the same sentence we have past perfect. So by is usually used with past perfect. Look at the example. It's 10 o'clock now. By 7 o'clock I had already got dressed. I had got dressed too, but I hadn't eaten breakfast. Okay, so here we have number 1. Number 1 is done. 7 o'clock this morning. Okay, 8:30 yesterday morning. I can say, who can give me a sentence? Think of a sentence. We can say by 8 o'clock yesterday morning. I can say I had already arrived at my school. I had already arrived at my school. By 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. What happened? Okay, we can say, of course, you returned home. So we can say by 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, I had already returned home. 7 o'clock yesterday evening. Of course, when you go home, you start doing your homework. Maybe you finish, okay, at 7 or before 7. So you can say by 7 o'clock yesterday evening, I had done my homework. 10 o'clock last Saturday evening. I can say by 10 o'clock last Saturday evening, okay, I had my lunch, my dinner. Okay, I had watched the new film, something like that. Now let's do some exercises. The first one, here you have some choose exercises. Number 1, the lesson had already started when the classroom. Okay, here we have when. It is preceded by past perfect and followed by what? Who can give me the answer? Correct. Entered. Okay, before he entered the classroom. Reem was upset because her friend space her. We have because. Who can give me the answer? Hadn't phoned. Nobody knew about the site because everyone about it. Forgets, had forgotten. Forgetting, have forgotten. Who can give me the answer? Had forgotten. After the museum, we decided to have lunch. After we what? Who is the first one to give the answer? After we had visited. Correct. Having space lunch, they left. Okay, I want a perfect student to tell me. Having what? Having eaten. Farida enjoyed visiting Suhad because she there before. Hadn't been, have been, want been, isn't been. So I say hadn't been. By 2010, I French. Okay, what is the correct choice? I had learned. We didn't eat in the restaurant because we already. We have because. So it is followed by past perfect. Which choice? Had eaten. Before homework, he had his lunch. So I say before what? Do, did, doing, had done. Before doing the homework. Okay, as soon as I had studied, I out. As soon as followed by past perfect and then past simple. So which one is correct? I went. He, the letter, until he had written it. We have the word until. Until here is followed by past perfect, and of course it's preceded by past simple. So I say, and past simple should be what? Who can remember? The past simple should be negative. So I say, I he didn't send. Okay, again here, number 12. I had played football. I studied my lessons. Here you have the past perfect and then the past simple. So the correct conjunction is after. Number 13. Watched the match. I went out. Here you have the past participle. Okay, what is followed by the past participle? Can we say after watched? No, we say after watching. And also we say before watching. And as soon as should be followed by a complete sentence. So I say having watched. 2003, I had learned to swim. Who can think of an answer? What is the correct choice? By. I didn't go out taking the money. I didn't go out, okay, without taking the money. Okay, I didn't go out without taking the money. Okay, now if you have a rewrite question like this, okay, first he watched TV, then he ate lunch. Begin with after. What is the first action? Watching TV. He watched TV. What is the second action? Ate lunch. So the first action should be in the past simple or the past perfect. The first action should be in the past perfect, of course. Okay, and the second one should be in the past simple. So watch will be in the past perfect. So I can say after he what? He had watched TV, he ate lunch. Also you can say after watching TV, he ate lunch. Before. Okay, we have here after they had cooked lunch, Ali arrived. I won't use before in the middle of a sentence. Okay, so I can say they had cooked the lunch before Ali arrived. Okay, as soon as he had arrived, the train left. I won't use having. Okay, I can drop as soon as. Okay, as soon as he. I drop as soon as and he, and I change had into having. So I say, having arrived, the train left. Number 4, they didn't eat, they hadn't bought food. I won't use because. Okay, because is followed by past perfect and preceded by past simple, so I can say they didn't eat because they hadn't bought food. Number 5, before he went to school he had packed his bag. I won't use after, so I can say after going to school he had packed his bag. Number 6, he had a shower then watched TV. I won't use as soon as, so I say as soon as okay, alright, I can say as soon as he had had a shower he watched TV. Number 7, before he read the story he had borrowed it. I won't use reading, so I say before reading the story he had borrowed it. Number 8, Mona cooked dinner, they ate it. So I can say after Mona had cooked dinner she ate it or they ate it. Number 9, having written the email she posted it. I won't use by the time. Of course she wrote first and then she posted. Okay, so by the time is followed by the second action, so I can say by the time she posted the email she had written it. Number 10, he didn't go out without taking the money. Okay, so what did he do first? He took the money first. Okay, that's why taking the money will be in the past perfect. And then he went out. So I can say he didn't go out until what? Until he had taken the money. So I remove without and put until. Okay, and complete the sentence after until in the past perfect tense. He didn't go out without until he had taken the money. Now we come to the vocabulary part. Okay, let's remember okay, what the unit was about. Okay, the first it talked about some animal stories. Okay, the first one has 2 characters, ant and a grasshopper. Okay, let's first revise the vocabulary. We have this word ant, of course you are familiar with it. This is the ant. Okay, again we have another one, that's the grasshopper. This is a grasshopper, you know it, of course, garado. Okay, when we okay, say the moral of the story. What is the moral of the story? The moral is the lesson you learn when you read a story or get through a situation. Okay, if you watch a film or learn a story or read a story, sometimes the story gives you a moral lesson, okay, something to remember, or a message that gives advice. So the moral is, okay, a message that gives advice. We also have this word, the verb encourage, and encourage someone when I say, go on, you can do it, okay, you are able to, okay, you can, it's not difficult, okay, so I'm doing what? Here I'm encouraging you to do something, okay, so I urge or try to persuade you. Like when I say they encouraged him to go back to school. He had stopped going to school and they wanted him to go back, so they encouraged him. They told him, you are able, you can do, you have the ability, you have everything, okay, it's better for you to go there. So they encouraged him. Okay, this word contents, when I say, of course, the contents of the box, okay, this means the things that are inside. Okay, so the things or the items inside a container, inside a box, inside a bag, okay. So also you can say the contents of a book, okay, so contents means what is written, okay, what the book talks about, the different chapters, the different subjects, okay, what are the contents of that book or a book or that box, okay, everything is okay. Now borrow, when I borrow something, okay, this means I take something from someone then return it. I say I borrowed my friend's camera to take some photos, so I borrowed it, this means I took it from him for some time and then I would return them back. Okay, we have terrible. Terrible is what? Terrible is very bad, very violent. Like Egypt was exposed to a really terrible storm called the dragon. You remember it? Okay, when it was raining so hard, okay, snowing and so on, okay, and blowing like the end of the world. It was a terrible storm. Okay, we have this word goose. What is a goose? It's a bird, okay, and the plural of goose is geese, okay. We have the word content. Sometimes content, when it comes as an adjective, it means happy or satisfied with what he has. Okay, when I say he is content, this means he is happy and satisfied with what he has. Okay, he accepts himself as he is. He is content. Okay, the word foolish means idiot, yani somewhat stupid. Don't be foolish. You know that you must work hard. So foolish means stupid, idiot, okay, not intelligent, not clever, not smart. Okay, here we have some language notes. The first one, content. Again, we have said that content means happy and means that when I say contents, I mean the things inside a container. Okay, you look very content. This means you look very, very happy. And look at the contents of that books. This means look at what is inside the box. Okay, number 2, refuse means not agree or not accept, and refuse as a noun is rubbish. The first one is refuse, the second one is refuse. Okay, so my uncle refuses to smoke. The farmer puts all the farm refuse in a large bin. Okay, so refuse is waste, rubbish. Number 3, we usually say collect food for, like the ant collected food for winter. Look very plus adjective, like when I say the grasshopper looked very content. Okay, looked very happy. Okay, number 5, sat in the sun, like when I say they sat in the sun yesterday. Okay, we have it's plus adjective, to plus infinitive, like this example. It's hard to find food in winter. Who can give me a similar sentence? Okay, like when I say it's fun to play on the beach. Okay, it's funny, sorry, to play on the beach. Okay, it's a pleasure to meet you. All right, it's nice to meet you. It's better. like I say, I'm pleased to meet you. Number 7, we have enough plus noun, and then to plus infinitive, like the ant had enough food to eat. Okay, like I can say we have enough money to spend or to buy a car. Number 8, we have the word golden, that is adjective, means made of gold. This is a golden ring. It's made of gold. Right, as plus adjective plus as means the same. He's as old as his friend. They have the same age. Number 10, made of plus material. Okay, made of means, okay, something is made of a material that's still shown or still apparent after the making of this thing. Okay, the material is not changed. Like when I say this ring is made of gold, if you look at the ring, you're going to see the gold. When I say the chair is made of wood, okay, when you look at the chair you can see the wood. Okay, so the material is still clear. The material is still, okay, shown, okay, after the making. But the word made from means that something is made from different materials. Okay, they mix it together, and the initial properties of each one of them already disappeared. So I can say paper is made from trees. Paper is made from trees. Okay, so now if you look at the paper, you're not going to see the trees or the wood. You can say paper is made from wood. If you look at paper, you cannot see the wood. Okay, because it changed, okay, and disappeared. Also, we always say on holiday. Okay, I've been on holiday for a week. Alright, here, look, you're going to listen to a story with a moral. Do you know any stories with a moral? Moral means, of course, a message that gives advice. Okay, can you think of one? You can pause the video and think of one of these stories that gives a moral lesson. Okay, now read 2 stories by the ancient Greek writer. What are the morals? We have 2 stories. Okay, the first story has a moral. Is it always prepare for the future, or you must never relax? The second story has a moral. Is it don't kill animals, or don't want more than you need? We're going to know. Let's start reading the first one. The ant and the grasshopper. It was summer, and the ant was collecting food for the winter. Grasshopper looked very content as he sat in the sun. Grasshopper hadn't done any work all week. "Don't be foolish," said Ant. "You know that it's hard to find food in winter. What could you do if you didn't have any food?" "It's still summer," said Grasshopper. "I refuse to think about winter yet." When the winter came, Ant had enough food to eat until spring. Grasshopper remembered Ant's wise words, but he was very angry. So what's the moral here? Is it, okay, always prepare for the future, or you must never relax? Of course it is, always prepare for the future. Now we come to the second story. The goose and the golden eggs. One day, a farmer found that his goose had laid a yellow egg. When he picked it up, it was as heavy as metal, and he thought it was bad. So first of all, he thought that the egg was a bad one. Okay, he decided to take it home, and he soon found out that the egg was made of gold. Every morning the same thing happened. The farmer soon became very rich. He sold all the golden eggs at the market. However, the farmer soon became greedy. He thought that there must be a lot of golden eggs inside the goose. So he killed it. When he had killed the goose, he found that there were no eggs inside it. So, what's the moral here? Is it don't kill animals or don't want more than you need? Of course, the moral is don't want more than you need. Okay. Now, read 2 stories. Again, this is done. Okay, number 3. Which of the words in red in the text mean the following? We have as much as necessary. As much as necessary is enough. Able to give good advice. When you are able to give good advice, this means you are what? You are, which word in red here? The first story. Wise, of course. Okay. Now, happy. We have taken this. Happy is what? Content. Happy is content. Okay, made of gold. What is the word? Made of gold is in the second story. Golden. Right. Okay. The fifth one, number 5. Wanting more money, more food, etc. than you need. It's what? Okay, when you want more than you need, you are, yes, in the second story, greedy. Okay. Number 6. A common white water bird. A water bird, you have seen the picture, it is a goose. Okay, now let's do this. The grasshopper or the ant was planning for the future. Of course, the ant was doing that. Number 2. Ant knew it was hard to find food that day or in the winter. She knew it was hard to find food in the winter. Number 3. The farmer wasn't sure if he should keep, or he should pick up the egg. So he wasn't sure if he should keep the egg. Okay, so but he picked it up. Okay, but he wasn't sure if he should keep it because he thought it was a bad one. It's not correct one. Number 4. The farmer soon became very greedy or very happy. He soon became very greedy, of course. Number 5. He killed the goose to get more eggs or because he didn't like it. He killed her to get more eggs. These are the answers. You can pause the video and complete the missing parts in your student's book. Okay, now let's see this. Choose the correct words to describe how each person feels. Number 1. How wonderful! When I say how wonderful, I am what? She is happy or she is unhappy for her friend. Of course, she is happy. And notice that how wonderful is followed by, okay, an exclamation mark. Okay, how wonderful is followed by this. Okay, the exclamation mark. Okay, because here we are wondering about something. Number 2. Oh no, how terrible! Again, okay, when they say how terrible, are they sad or are they happy? Of course, they are sad. How terrible. Number 3. Okay, really, I can't believe it. Okay, she is very surprised by something, okay, or isn't surprised by something. Is she surprised about the information or she isn't surprised? When I say, really, I can't believe it, this means, of course, I'm surprised. Number 4. Oh dear, perhaps you should see the doctor. She is worried or she is unkind. Okay, she is of course worried. She wants him to see the doctor. Okay, here are the answers. Okay, now this is the language function. Okay, we have the 4 different situations. When you are worried, what do you say? Oh dear, oh no, I'm worried about something, I'm worried about that. Okay, like when I say I'm worried about my exam results, I'm worried about the operation I'm going to have in a hospital, and so on. Okay, when someone tells you sad news, what do you say? I say, how terrible, I'm sorry to hear this bad news. What bad news? Okay, when someone tells you happy news, what do you say? I say, how wonderful. Really? Congratulations. When you are surprised due to something, due to means because of. When you are surprised because of something, what do you say? Really? I can't believe it. What a surprise. يا للمفاجأة. Now, let's look at these situations. Number 1, I was walking home. I saw someone fall into a canal. Of course I say, oh no, how terrible. Number 2, my father has bought me an expensive mobile phone. So I say, again, how wonderful. Number 3, my watch was broken while I was playing. Again I say, how terrible. Number 4, I can't find my mobile phone. What do I say? I say, oh no, it's new. Number 5, your friend has bought you a wonderful present. You say, what a surprise. Okay, now listen to Amir talking about a visit to a zoo. Choose the correct sentence when you hear a bell. First one we have, oh no, or how wonderful. The second one, how wonderful or how terrible. The third one, oh dear, really, I can't believe it. How wonderful, oh no, oh dear, and so on. Here you have the listening text. Okay, boy 1 talks to Amir. He says, hello Amir, I haven't seen you for a long time. Amir, no, I've been away on holiday. I've only just come back. Boy 1, how was the trip? Amir, it was great, but it didn't start very well. Boy 1, why? What happened? Amir, well, on our first day we decided to go to the zoo, but we found out that it had closed an hour before we got there. Boy 1, oh no. Amir, yes, a snake had escaped and nobody knew where it was. Boy 1, how terrible. Amir, then when we were leaving the zoo car park, we saw the snake. Boy 1, really? I can't believe it. Amir, it looked at us and moved very slowly past our car. I had never seen a snake so close before. Boy 1, how wonderful. Amir, but then a lot of men from the zoo arrived with the sticks. Boy 1, oh dear. Amir, they didn't hurt the snake, and soon they took it back inside the zoo. Boy 1, I'm happy to hear that. Okay. Are the people in the pictures doing the right or the wrong things? Okay, number A. Of course, you can see someone broke the window and he says, I will say it wasn't me. So he is preparing himself to give a lie. He's going to lie, to be a liar. Okay, is it correct or not? Of course, not correct. This is wrong. Number B. Excuse me, this is your money. Okay, so she is honest. She gives the money back to the lady. She could have taken it, but she gives it back. So she is honest. This is correct, of course. Number 3. I don't know the answers. I will copy Amal's work. Oh, she's going to cheat. Is it right or wrong? Of course it is wrong. Okay, number 4 or number D. Nasser isn't here, so I will go for a ride on his bike. Oh, is it right or wrong? He's going to use the bike without his friend knows it. So of course this is wrong. Okay. Now let's see this tools for life. Number 1. What would you do if you found a bag that someone had left in the street? If there weren't any people nearby, I will take it quickly. Number B. I would never take the contents of anyone's bag. I would look for the owner or give it to the police. What is correct? Is it A or B? Okay, your own answer. Number 2. What would you do if you didn't know the answer in the exam? A. I will copy the answers from the person next to me. B. I would guess the study. I would guess. So he's going to guess the answer and study a lot more before the next exam. Number 3. Would you borrow something that belongs to another person without asking them? Yes, I would if I knew the person. No, I wouldn't. 4. If you broke a window during a game, what would you say? A. I don't know who broke it. It wasn't me. B. I'm sorry. Here is some money to repair it. Okay, so if your answers are mostly A, you should think more carefully about what you do. Sometimes you do foolish things. If your answers are mostly B, well done. You always try to do the right thing. Okay, now let's do this. We have 3 words: borrow, greedy, and wise. The first one is done. Small children are sometimes greedy and want more sweets than they can eat. Number 2, if you want your friend's laptop, you should ask first. Borrow, greedy, wise. So if you want to borrow. Number 3, my grandmother is very what? She knows how to help most people who have a problem. She is very wise. Okay, number 1. When Walid had arrived, or when Walid arrived at the airport, the plane had already taken or already took off. So I say when Walid arrived, the plane had already taken off. Okay, so the plane took off first and then he arrived. That's why I say had already taken off. Number 2. Before Olivia had visited Egypt, she had never heard or she didn't hear Arabic before. Here we have before. Before is followed by past simple. So I say before Olivia had visited, or before Olivia visited. It's before Olivia visited Egypt. She, the second part of the sentence has of course the past perfect, so you say she had never heard. Number 3. My mother hadn't studied, or my mother didn't study English before she started. I had started her job at the bank. So I say my mother hadn't studied English before she started her job at the bank. Number 4. We hadn't eaten, or we didn't eat in the restaurant because we had eaten or we ate already. Of course, here we have because is preceded by past simple, so I say we didn't eat, and is followed by past perfect, had eaten. Here are the answers. You can pause the video and complete the missing parts in your student's book. Here we have again some words that we want to use in their places. Okay, we have Ahmad talks to Medhat. He says, Ahmad, my uncle gave me a new watch for my birthday. Medhat, how wonderful. Ahmad, yes, but I was foolish. I broke it while I was playing football. Medhat, space, he says, really? How terrible. What did your uncle say? He was very kind. He repaired it for me. But now, it is a bit slow. Oh dear. It's a beautiful watch. It's a beautiful watch. So he broke it. Now we come to the activity book. Number 1. A story with a moral has a message or sad ending, happy ending, no ending. Of course, it has a message. Number 2. If you feel content, you are what? Sad, angry, scared, or happy? Of course, you are happy. Number 3. If you have enough water, you are what? Thirsty, not thirsty, hungry, not hungry. If you have enough water, you are not thirsty. Number 4. It's a good idea to ask a wise person for food, wonders, money, advice. He is wise, so he can give you good advice. Now, match to make sentences. Number 1. Ali had already eaten, so, okay, it is matched to number D. He didn't go to the cafe. Number 2. Mona hadn't read the book before, so she, she bought it. She hadn't read it before, so she bought it. Number 3. The teacher explained the past perfect because. The teacher explained the past perfect because. 3 is E. We hadn't studied it before. Number 4. Walid had forgotten about the family party until what? 4 is B. Until he saw the invitation. Number 5. I had never tried Chinese food. 5 is C. I went to that restaurant. I had never tried Chinese food before I went to that restaurant. Number 3. What had you eaten before you had lunch yesterday? Think of an answer. I can say I had eaten some fruit. Okay. Number 2. What had you done before 10 o'clock this morning? You can say I had taken a history lesson. Number 3. Which schools had you been to before you started this school? I can say I had been to, and the name of another school. Number 4. Which English book had you studied before you studied this one? I can say I had studied, for instance, click on, or I had studied Macmillan English or any other course. Okay. Match the words and their meanings. We have borrow. Borrow means take something from someone. Terrible. Who can match? Terrible is what? Yes, that's it. Very bad. Greedy. Greedy is what? Right. Wanting more than you need. Goose. Goose is Yes, a bird that lives near water. And the golden is, yes, made of gold. Okay. Number 2. Shayma didn't like the film. She thought it was terrible. Number 2. Marwan asked to Mustafa's phone so he could call his mother. Okay, he asked to borrow Mustafa's phone. Number 3. Robbers are very space people. They always want to steal more money. They are, yes, greedy people. Number 4. I saw a beautiful white space near the lake. I saw a beautiful white goose near the lake. Number 5. Okay, Khadija was very upset after she lost her necklace. And the necklace was made of gold, so it was golden. Here are the answers: borrow, greedy, goose, and golden. Now, write what you would say in each of the following situations. Okay, you are with your friend on the bus when you find a watch on the floor. So, what do you say? Okay, here are some suggested answers. Excuse me, this is your watch. Number 2. You need to borrow your friend's laptop. You say, can I borrow your laptop, please? Number 3. You borrowed your friend's phone and you broke it. Of course, you apologize. So I say, I'm really sorry. I broke your phone. أكيد هينفخك طبعا. Number 4. Choose the correct word or phrase to complete the dialogue. We have Dina talks to Lamia. Dina says, I forgot to watch my favorite TV program yesterday. Lamia, I can't believe it, or oh dear. Of course, it's something sad, so she says, oh dear. But I can't believe it is used when you are surprised. Number 2. Azza talks to Hanan. She says, my oldest cousin is going to have a baby. Hanan says, really? Or oh dear. Is it happy happy situation or sad situation? It's happy, so I say really. Okay, I don't say oh dear, because oh dear comes with bad or sad situation. Number 3. Ahmed talks to Medhat. The Egyptian football team played Brazil and won the match. Medhat says, really? Or oh dear, or oh dear, I can't believe it. So what do you say? Okay, the Egyptian team won the match against Brazil. Of course we say, maybe I say, oh no, I can't believe it. Okay, because he's very surprised. Number 4. Rami, I can't find my new phone. Oh no, or how wonderful. Of course I say, oh no, because the phone is new and is lost. And oh no is used when you are sad. Number 5. Nader talks to Osama. There was a storm yesterday and now they can't find the ship. Oh, this is very terrible, of course. So I say, how terrible. Okay, here are the answers. Okay. Okay, now this is a comprehension part. Captain Scott was a famous English soldier. He loved adventure and wanted to go to the middle of Africa. In 1910, Scott started his trip with 4 other people. If they got there, they would be the first people to walk to the middle of Antarctica. It was a long, difficult walk. But in January 1911 they finally arrived. However, Scott found that he was not the first person to walk there. A man called Roald Amundsen, and his team had arrived 1 month earlier. What did Captain Scott do that was different to Roald Amundsen? Okay, what did he do that was different from Roald Amundsen? Captain Scott didn't have the modern equipment that Roald Amundsen had, and he didn't know how to travel in the snow as well as Roald Amundsen. Okay, number 1. Why did Captain Scott want to go to Antarctica? Because he wanted an adventure. Number 2. What did Captain Scott discover when he arrived in 1911? What did he discover? He discovered that someone had come there before. He discovered that Amundsen had been there before. Okay, so he discovered that Roald Amundsen and his team had arrived 1 month before him. Number 3. How do you think Captain Scott felt when he made this discovery? Okay, of course he felt very, very bad because he thought that he was the first man to arrive there. Okay, number 4. Who does the underlined word they refer to? They here refers to Scott and the 4 other people. Number 5. The moral of the story is what? Okay, it is number B. Always plan very carefully before you do something. Okay, here we come to the end of it, but I just want to go back to the previous slide, this one. Okay, here, okay, and this number 3, the Egyptian football team played Brazil and won the match. Okay, if it is a lie, of course you really say, oh no, I can't believe it. If Egypt is not going to win the match against Brazil, okay, and he is lying, so you say, oh no, I can't believe it. Okay, you can say that. But if it is true, if the Egyptian team already won the match against Brazil, you can say really, okay, because it would be a good thing for you. Okay, now, okay, so now we come to the end of it. I wish you had enjoyed this unit, and goodbye till we meet again next time, inshallah. Okay, of course, I hope you have enjoyed it. Okay, thank you.